Good morning. I thought I'd start this week with a bit of a Doughnut Bed update because I know some of you enjoy that sort of thing. There's not a lot really to update you on further than last time. I'm very pleased with how some of these plants are looking. This is much bluer than it's coming across. You may notice that a few of the plants have had their cages removed. You may also notice quite a lot of butterflies. It's late summer here at the moment, so this is the Doughnut Bed in its late summer guise. I decided that the time had come to remove some of the plant cages. I mean, something like this one is clearly very big. These two, less so. This is the bush wisteria. But I just decided that sometimes you have to let a plant stand or fall on its own. You never quite know what of the plants the wallabies in particular are going to go for and what they're going to leave alone. But I hope that I've made the right call for most of them. This is my little fuchsia. I'm a big fan of fuchsias. This isn't the type that goes in a hanging basket. As you can see, it goes in the bed. That's my little Hebe. As last year, these scabious plants, which I grew from seed, are doing quite well. What I've actually done this morning is I've collected some of the seed heads and I've put them in little holes in the ground the other side of that fence. Who knows what will happen? In an ideal world, what will happen next summer is I'll have a nice hedge of all different ones of these, that side of the fence. Or alternatively, they could all get eaten, dug up by mice and eaten. But you know, it's a free resource and there's no harm in trying. And this is how it looks when you're on the inside of the bed. This is my box. It's coming along quite nicely. You can see the lighter colour of the new growth, but I think that's still a bit too small to let loose because even to me that limey green new growth looks tasty, so no doubt it'll be a total aphrodisiac to the wallabies. And the smaller one of the hydrangeas I have left, but the larger one has been released. The other thing I've done this morning is I've moved two of my hardy geraniums from the hardy geranium bed to here, and that's because essentially the hardy geranium bed was a total disaster. It was a failure. It didn't work at all, and I do really like hardy geraniums, so I've moved them here in the hope that there's better light and better soil for them, more suitable for what they might prefer to grow in. I mean, this plant should be going really vigorously, but it's looking very sorry for itself. And I did slightly damage it when I moved it, so hopefully it'll recover. Most plants seem to be fair. This is my little mock orange. It's kind of swamped by these at the moment, but obviously they'll start to die back and then I'll cut them back. And this can shine, but for now you can probably see in here the bees and butterflies really enjoying these flowers. So obviously I'm not going to do anything about that now because I like the bees and the butterflies. But I'm very pleased with this. My plants that I've bought as little plants are all doing quite nicely, and the plants that I started off as seeds are doing a really nice job of filling in the gaps whilst these plants establish. It's actually a really nice spot. I don't know how well it's coming across on camera in this light. But it's very nice in real life. Welcome to another glorious summer's morning. Supposed to say I'm wearing a jumper, but I'm heading down to join Will because I thought you might like to see sort of before and after what we're hoping to achieve today. So Will is diligently preparing the wood for us to finally make the return. So there's one here, and two that are the same on the other end. We've got more or less all the metal that we need for the project, but we might need to tinker with it because Will thinks this could be a little short and the rest of it's over there. So that's the first thing we'll be doing today, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, because Will's got to go off to the radio later, I'll also trim it. So I thought I'll show you how it looks now, and then if we're lucky, I'll sort of click in the blink of an eye for you. It'll be, the walls will completely be done, but for us obviously we've got a few hours work ahead of us. So I will leave you for the time being and I will help Will. Okay, so sometime later we have finished the work that I was telling you about. So as you can see, we have trimmed the walls. We have put on the returns, which have also been trimmed, this side and that side, and we've trimmed this wall, which is the wall which faces our pond. So the exterior wall work is all done. So this is how it's going to look. We're not going to put a door here. We want a nice through flow to help dry out our firewood, which we're going to store this side of the building. And also we want easy access for our ride-on mower towing a trailer, and actually we tried it and Will's car does fit in this gap too, and that's just to make it a bit easier to transport the firewood as and when we're processing it or taking it up to the house maybe. So that's about all we can do on this project now. But however, the next stage is in progress, and that is going to be putting on the roof. So Will's designed a bracket that the roof timbers are going to sit on, and we have bought the metal for that, and the metal's been cut to size, so all Will needs to do for that is weld the metal together. And we have acquired some, I don't think all, but a long way towards the roof timbers which are there. They just need to be cut in half and then slot into the brackets which Will's going to make, and then they'll sit on these beams. There'll be 4 of them for the corrugated iron to sit on. So we can at least make some start on the roof. We don't have the corrugated iron for the roof, but we know a couple of places where we might acquire it from, one of which is the local tip or recycling centre. And we're thinking we might go there tomorrow to take the trimmed bits of metal to get rid of those, and we may bring some corrugated iron home with us if they have any that's suitable. Because we're doing it a bit piecemeal, we're thinking what we might do is start putting the metal on this side of the building and work our way down, so that at least one part of the building will be usable. And what we're also thinking is we might start building some of the interior structure. So here there's going to be a cupboard where we'll have all our woodworking tools, our chainsaws, the oils and stuff that go with it, our axes, our log splitters, our logger saw, and ideally they'll be in a locked cupboard. The chainsaws aren't cheap. Then either here and here or just here we'll have the first and second kindling, and then we'll have maybe 3 bays of the firewood, which will be on rotation. So constantly having the opportunity to season, and we'll just cycle through the bays, leaving us potentially with a couple of spare bays at the end. Who knows, we'll see. And then Will's woodworking wood's going to go on this side, and that'll be on shelves. We're going to raise the firewood off the ground, and we've sourced the metal grills that are going to comprise the floor. That's just again to help air get under the firewood, and also keep it off the ground where it does have a tendency to get very, very damp if it rains a lot. So that'll help with that, and that's not that expensive. I think it's something like $170-ish for a sheet. And we may get away with one, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, we are in a position now to start doing a bit of work on the roof. We have an idea of the sort of thing we'd like to do in these firewood bays. And we have other ideas for things we'd like to do up here. And as I say, we'll probably start the roof here and eventually work our way down. That may be quite a prolonged period of time, because we're not in a position to acquire that much corrugated iron in a one-er, but that's okay, we'll get there eventually. So we're very pleased with that. I'm off now to mow the lawns, and you'll be pleased to hear that I have already mowed some of the house lawns with our newly repaired ride-on lawnmower, and so far so good. It didn't fall apart, the welds all held, so fingers crossed that that remains the case.